everyone, and welcome to GameSpot's coverage of E3 and Play for All 2021. It feels like it gets earlier and earlier every year, so that's why we're here to kind of sneak up front and announce what we're doing for the whole month of June, as well as discuss what you'll be able to see during E3 week. I'm Lucy James, joined by Timur Hussein.
Hello, it's E3 time, baby. Where is Elden Ring, Miyazaki?
Don't worry, I've set aside time to talk about
Please
that.
respond.
Michael.
I sent you my nudes.
Your what?
What?
Huh?
Yo,
Michael
relax.
Hyatt?
You heard him. What it do, baby? I'm here for what am I here for? Final Fantasy 14. Let's go. I'm gonna see the Endwalker trailer again.
And Jordan Ramey.
Hello, I'm just here. My dream game already isn't showing up at E3, so I'm already disappointed. It's not fair. My
Broken
dream
dreams,
dashed
Papa.
before this even began.
One
Silk
of
Song, I
these
miss
days,
you.
Hollow Knight Silksong will eventually rise from the ashes. But there are plenty of events going to be happening throughout the whole month of June. Of course, we're throwing our own Play for All. There's E3, there's numerous showcases. We have a calendar up on site where you can see all the cool, important stuff happening. But we're also going to run you through it right now because there's a lot of stuff happening and there's a lot of speculation that we can spend time talking about. And of course, we can talk about all the cool plans that we have because we have been very, very busy. So E3 technically kicks off, I guess, tomorrow. We've got Indie Live Expo and the Guerrilla Collective day one. We're not going to talk about every event in depth because there are so many and we only really have an hour. But let's kick off with Netflix Geeked Week, which kicks off June 7th through to the 11th. Tam, I'm going to come to you first. What can we expect from Netflix Geeked Week?
I mean, I expect we'll see more of The Witcher. That's the big thing. I feel like The Witcher is what they've kind of built this event around, given the success of the first season, and it's well-warranted success. That season turned out to be really good, and Henry Cavill, the man's got can use his arms as guns and also play a mean Geralt, which is great. But I think there's a few things other kind of in the cut that are also really, really exciting, namely the Cuphead show, which has been in production for a little while and undoubtedly is going to be really, really exciting given the art style that they seem to be sticking quite close to. Resident Evil. What was it called again? Well, Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City. There are zombies here, please help us, or something like that. It's got the weirdest title of all time.
A wild anime title right there.
It's straight up got a really weird title, and it is baffling. But that, and then
Infinite
the big
Darkness. Infinite Darkness is what the rest
there's
of the movie, isn't it?
no, there's another one. There's another one
Another
which
one?
has got. Yeah, there's like it's got a genuine. It's like
I'm
a full
looking it up.
sentence.
You're thinking of the
You
movie.
look it up. I'm thinking of the movie.
Oh, you're thinking of the
All
movie.
right. What's the movie called?
I think it's called
Someone
Resident
tell me.
Evil Welcome to Raccoon City.
Welcome to Raccoon City. That's the one. Yeah.
called-
So, Infinite
fun.
Darkness. I mean, not just marginally a better name there. And then Castlevania. Castlevania is going to be interesting.
In the middle of rewatching Castlevania because I started up season 4 and I just couldn't remember what was happening, so I've started up again. And I thought season 4 was supposed to be it. So are we getting like a spin-off? Are we getting just more?
I think there's going to be a spin-off. I mean, like there are certain things happening around the writer of the Castlevania script that was used to adapt it into the Netflix series, and I think there is an interest in continuing the Castlevania series, but also figuring out how to do it without being linked to something that could be potentially controversial. That's my understanding of it. That's not an official understanding of it. It's not been clarified as that, but that's what I think. And then beyond that, I'm just going to leave that for people to research. Educate yourselves.
I was about to say, listen to that Peter speak as he just talks around like.
He knows. He already knows.
And then beyond that, we got The Sandman. Exciting.
I know that's not. So I put this runner show together, and I know that Sandman and Cowboy Bebop, not gaming, but oh my god, I'm so excited about them, especially because they just announced the Sandman cast.
Cowboy Bebop.
They're making
baby.
live
A
action.
live action show.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I don't know
yeah.
why
And
it's
so
already like
hopefully-
perfect the way that it is.
They've casted Max
Hopefully-
Scoville as Spike Spiegel.
As they casted Max as Cowboy and Brian as Bebop. Shout out to our IGN friends there. Yeah, but we should hopefully get a trailer for that. I would love to see a trailer for that. And yeah,
I really hope they do a sort of orchestral breakdown of Tank.
Yeah, Tank. Yeah,
Just like a slow beat,
Yeah,
beat
exactly.
with the violins rising.
Have
Classic,
have
like
the
movie
ghost-
fare.
have the Ghost of Tsushima flute guy in there as well. Just be like, I'm back. I'm still getting work.
Wow.
And then obviously it's being hosted by Raul Coley,
That's
Mari
your bro.
Takahashi, the homie Raul, Yuri Lowenthal, and
Yosuke.
Jeff Keighley. Jeff Keighley as well,
No.
who you may know
Not Yosuke.
as many roles, such as Jeff Keighley at the Game Awards, Jeff Keighley at Game Trailers, Jeff Keighley at twitter.com/Jeff Keighley.
You could have
Those are
had
all the Jeff Keighley roles
in
that I remember.
Death
Jeff
Stranding.
Keighley in Death Stranding. Yeah.
Jeff Keighley's Summer Games Fest. That's happening too.
Yeah, Summer
which we'll
Game
talk
Fest,
Which
Jeff
we-
Keighley.
We will be talking about Summer Game Fest very shortly. So yeah, so kicking off the month, huge with Netflix Geeked Week. But then on June 9th, 7 a.m. PT, we've got the Battlefield 6 review. Review? God. I
Wow,
don't
you
know.
reviewed
That
it?
would be one
Holy
hell.
moly.
Yeah.
That would be
Game's
one
already
hell of a
coming
turnaround. Battlefield 6 reveal. So unfortunately, this one's had a couple of leaks. But Michael, are you excited about any Battlefield?
I mean, I have a long history with the Battlefield franchise. I think Battlefield 1942 was actually one of my first PC games. I was like blown away by it, and I reviewed Battlefield 5 when it came out. And I don't know, I have an affinity for that large scale combat that they always do because they always do it right. But it's not. It's not necessarily enough to do that core gameplay right anymore because we've had it time and time again, of course, which is great, and then they need to nail that down. But whatever it is, I'm not going to play a backseat developer and kind of like be like, oh, they need to do this, they need to do that. I just want to be surprised by something. We've been through like all these different eras. We went to World War I with Battlefield 1. We've had World War II multiple times, modern combat. We've had 2142. Yo, if y'all want to bring back Battlefield 2142, say less. But I just want to be surprised by whatever Battlefield 6 or whatever this next Battlefield is going to be. Because it's always exciting to drop into a new Battlefield game, but there's just I want to be excited again.
Yeah, and I mean, Jordan, are you surprised that this announcement is coming now? It doesn't seem like EA is really doing anything else around E3. Maybe this one should have been saved for something like a Microsoft press conference, or do you think they're just trying to get away from all the leaks and just kind of do things on their own terms?
I was a bit surprised to hear about it. I'm hopeful that the entire reason that they're like, look, let's just get Battlefield 6 out there in front of E3 and talk about it is because they have something like major extreme plan for EA Play Live like in a month's time, and they don't want Battlefield to get in the way of that. But it's weird. It's because EA always kind of like has something around E3, and they'll talk about like Apex and whatever they're doing with like Battlefront, what Respawn is doing. We had that like little awkward conversation last year. It's like, hey, 2 years ago, it's like, hey, Respawn, we hear you're working on a Star Wars game. It's like, yep. And that was like all the details we got. But it's going to be interesting to see like just focusing on one game and then kind of dipping out of E3 unless they plan to piggyback off anyone else's conferences this year.
I can see them doing that. I can definitely see a sort of trailer reveal, gameplay stuff maybe coming at this announcement on the 9th, and then maybe something else at Microsoft. Because typically, if you've got that partnership with a platform holder, then you can leverage some, I don't know, showing off another trailer or something. Typically, it's usually COD, right? But COD seems to have moved to sort of Sony presentations over the last few years. So who knows? But exciting that they're kind of just taking ownership of stuff and just like, just not letting the leakers have all that fun. So that's on June 9th. And we've already name dropped him a bunch. Also on June 9th is our tech rehearsal. So don't forget that. We've also name dropped him a bunch of times. Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest Kickoff Live is happening June 10th, 11 a.m. PT. Right. So Jeff's kind of in this phase now where he's doing the thing he normally does for the Game Awards, where he'll tease out guests, but we don't really have much knowledge on who is going to be there sort of from the gaming side, because we know that Weezer is going to be performing. We know that Japanese Breakfast is going to be performing.
Hell yeah.
Very excited about that. And then we've got Jeff Goldblum is going to be presenting something. And then there's also going to be Day of the Devs, which is an event that I miss very, very dearly. Like, that's always such a fun thing to go to in San Francisco, and I'm really glad they're going to have Day of the Devs as part of Summer Game Fest. But then he's just got a thing that he's just calling World Premiere Showcase. And I'm going to go around the room, first of all, to do everyone's best world premiere voice.
Yeah.
Michael's already kind of gone there. Jordan?
Jump the gun. World premiere. Probably Callisto Protocol. I could see Callisto Protocol.
Good. World premiere.
Oh, a little bit like a little cheer.
No, but energy.
A little spice thrown on there.
Yeah.
World premiere. No, I used to be able to do the Xbox voice quite well. Like, now from 343 Industries, like that woman. But anyway, who do we think is going to be on Jeff's stage as part of Summer Game Fest Kickoff Live? Michael?
It's gonna be I want it to be Yoko Taro showing off Drakengard 4, but that's not gonna happen. So I think it's probably going to be I don't know, maybe like the we're gonna get more information on Dragon Age 4. I don't know. From Drakengard 4 to Dragon Age 4.
I do. God. BioWare has done a lot of stuff with Jeff's shows in the past. Like, obviously, we saw the new Mass Effect. I think Game Awards is where they revealed Dragon Age 4 officially. So I don't think that's too far out of the realm of possibility.
I was close to saying
do you think
the
they
next
would be
Mass Effect, but Dragon Age 4 should come first.
I mean, maybe, but I guess like if they're riding the high of Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which obviously sort of just came out a few weeks ago, I've seen people on Twitter kind of wondering if they would put the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer as a separate announce, but I don't know. Jordan, fellow Mass Effect aficionado, what do you think of that rumor?
Part of me wants to believe it, and the other part of me is like, there's no way that they actually give us the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. Like, there's no way BioWare looks at it and it's like, yeah, I think we can bring the multiplayer back and we can support it and people will play it and it'll be good. And like,
people are still playing it though.
The people are still playing, but like, are enough people still playing? Are enough people still playing it? They're like, let's bring back and fully support an entire like multiplayer component while we're at the same time working on Mass Effect 4 and Dragon Age 4. Like, that's a lot of moving parts, and I think BioWare kind of, at least I hope they want to focus on making sure that they actually get a really good, well-received game out there that's not a remaster of games that people already like.
I don't know. I secretly hope, because I did have a lot of fun playing Mass Effect 3 multiplayer back in the day. I know a lot of people did, so I don't think it's out. I don't know. I'm cautiously hopeful. I think it would just be like, big Marge Simpson vibes, but I just think that's neat. Tam, what do you think Jeff might pull out of the bag at Summer Game Fest?
You know what I want to say? Everyone knows what I want to say, but I ain't going to say it.
Are you holding? I was going to say, you've got 3 Elden Ring cards. Use them throughout this podcast.
I'm like a Yu-Gi-Oh player, but like every card is Elden Ring. It's like a pot of greed. Like, I'm just doing everything I can to keep using pot of greed. I'm gonna get a bit weird with it. Persona 5 on PC.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
Not on Switch though.
That would be hype.
Yeah, for some reason, Persona 5 appears on PC.
Hell yeah. I'll
Pulling
fuck
that out
shit.
of
Good
thin
time.
air.
I mean, I honestly also could see it happening.
Yeah,
I
like
don't know, like, I
P4G,
kinda I like
P4G
that
is already
one.
out there. Yeah, and like,
Yeah, and did really
Persona
well.
3
So,
remake. Oh shit,
Yeah.
yo.
ooh,
No,
is it time?
I'm not gonna do myself
asked for too
like Cam
much.
does himself.
I was gonna
Yeah.
put that energy out into the world. Jordan, I asked you about Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, but is there anything else you would definitely want to see, Jeff? I don't know why I'm making him out to be some kind of wizard with a hat at this point, but I guess he kind of is.
It's like you get a heart and you get a brain. It's not going to happen, but it would be wild if Vin Diesel came out to intro a new trailer for Arc 2. That would be dope. I would like that. I would like that a lot.
I mean,
That seems realistic.
Didn't they came out to do the Fast game, right? At Game Awards a couple years ago. So also there was a new
One can
Fast
hope,
game
one can
announced
dream.
like a few days ago, right? I
How
saw
about this?
something and I was like,
How about this? Vin Diesel appears on stage and introduces Elden Ring.
Oh my god.
Let's
He's a
go.
character in Elden Ring.
He's like, I'm in Elden Ring.
I'm a boss.
He's like, you think you
Look.
know me? I did Groot. I'm Groot. You think I can't do any voice acting?
That's sick. That would be
I
sick.
mean, no, it's not.
He's the voice
wouldn't
of the
be
ring.
It wouldn't be the first time that a famous fan has been put into a Souls game. Like Peter Serafinowicz, British actor,
exactly.
very big fan, was in
Oh, yeah.
Dark Souls 2. So, hey,
I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet everything I own that Vin Diesel is absolute ass at all Souls games. I bet you he's terrible. So I don't think he's a fan, but I would love it if he was just in there.
I don't know if I'd call,
I
I want smoke with Vin Diesel on a live stream, bro. But that's all you.
I
Yeah.
think I can take Vin Diesel. I think he's Vin Diesel. I can take Vin Diesel. Easy clap.
okay, as someone who has just recently watched through every Fast and Furious movie within a week and a half, I'm gonna have you stop talking about Dom Toretto like that, because he's my boy,
Fair enough,
he's
fair
family.
Fair enough.
Lucy
Any
is
other surprises
offended.
that we think? I know I've really ascended to a different plane, and on that plane I live a quarter mile at a time. Anything else that we think from Summer Game Fest? Like he's keeping it very, very under wraps, and it's kind of difficult to know what exclusives Jeff has managed to nab away from the other showcases that we're expecting during E3. Anyone have
I
anything?
could expect something like Baldur's Gate 3 being announced that it's coming out of early access later this year, like in October. Wasn't Divinity Original Sin 2 in early access only for a year? So maybe they're doing the same for Baldur's Gate 3?
Yeah.
I could see
There's
that.
definitely going to be some Fortnite stuff there. You know it. Like
Oh, yeah.
he always usually has some sort of Fortnite thing going on, right? So I
Hamtaro being
imagine
Fortnite.
Hamtaro
Maybe.
coming to Vin Diesel
Hell yeah.
coming to Fortnite.
Hamtaro coming to Fortnite.
And Jeff Keighley himself in Fortnite.
Jeff
Keighley
Keighley
coming to
coming to
Fortnite. Hey.
Fortnite.
Jeff's in Among Us, right? So he could.
Yeah.
I would genuinely love it if he was in.
I'd
Fortnite.
love it
I
if they
think that
did
would
like
be
a
great.
lore video about the bus, and he's the driver of the bus the entire time. Oh,
Yo,
so
that's
you've been
wild.
thanking Jeff Keighley the entire time. Oh,
Damn.
All right,
Let's see it.
let's move on from Summer Game Fest Live Kickoff. Let's talk a little bit about the. I still don't know how to pronounce this. Is it Koch Media?
Coke.
Koch Media? Yeah, I mean, there are different pronunciations depending on where you are in the world, but Koch Media is June 11th, 12 p.m. PT. And as I was putting together this run of show, I was like, maybe Saints Row, maybe Dead Island, maybe Metro, maybe Time Splitters. Earlier today, Deep Silver tweeted, our parent company at Koch Media HQ is making an announcement as part of Summer Games Fest on June 11th. To give you a heads up, you won't see Dead Island, Saints Row, Metro, or Time Splitters here, or at any other E3 2021 event,
Or
we'll
ever
let you know
again.
when we have news to share.
why are you
So-
announcing that? Why are you announcing that announcement?
By the way, everyone,
we've got
all of our
nothing.
most anticipated
nothing.
games, none of them.
The biggest
honestly,
anti-announcement.
I did think it would be too soon for Time Splitters because they, just kind of reintroduced invigorated Free Radical fairly recently, so I did think the most you'd get from Time Splitters would maybe be some kind of CGI trailer. But yeah, I don't really know what else that big stuff that Koch Media has that they would want to be publishing this yet. Maybe a sequel to Maneater.
They're going to have a presentation, and Vin Diesel's going to come out, and he's going to say, it's pronounced Koch Media, and then he's going to leave. And that's the end of the show.
I mean,
Chill.
I don't hate it. Honestly, if Vin Diesel does appear at E3, in some capacity, I would absolutely love that. I think, man, that would genuinely just elevate E3 for me. So yeah, so Koch Media, does anyone else have any other ideas of what they could bring out for that showcase?
Did you say Man
I was
Eater
riding
2?
on Saints Row. Yeah.
Manny 2 says no Saints Row, but even though they did just remaster, was it 4 or 3 they just brought out?
No, they remastered 3 again, I think. For like the 12th time.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't even know what
I did go on the
else
website. It's like,
could...
what? Sequel to Agents of Mayhem?
If Fast and Furious is going into space, then Saints Row can deal with their whole time travel spiel that they teased at the end of 4.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Agents
so-
of Mayhem. You know the vibes.
Oh my god. Maybe we'll get an Agents of Mayhem too.
I don't think so. But
Hopefully
I mean,
we
they also
won't.
have
God.
they also have Homefront.
God damn.
They also have Homefront, but I don't think there's going to be another Homefront announcement. At least that's not on my E3 bingo card at all.
What I will say is
so
that
yeah.
this level of uncertainty is kind of exciting, you know? It's nice to not know. Yeah, I mean, like, I want to be
is.
excited.
Yeah,
I
agree.
I'm tired of knowing everything.
Well, it's funny you
This
say
guy.
that because June 12th, we've got Guerrilla Collective Day 2 and the Wholesome Direct. Wholesome Direct is genuinely, please watch it. It's such a great collection of really wholesome games and such a nice message behind it. So that's at 10 a.m. PT on June 12th. But speaking of knowing everything, 12 p.m. PT on June 12th, we've got Ubisoft Forward. So, Far Cry 6. Let's go around the room. What did we all think of the Far Cry 6 kind of showcase that they had? Was it last week? They showed off a little bit of gameplay, talked a little bit more about how it's not political, then backtracked and said, JK, it is a bit, but within a limit. Tam, what do you make of Far Cry 6? And what do you think they're going to be showing here at E3?
I think they'll probably just show off way more of the gameplay. I expect they'll have a very character-focused moment. They're always chasing the old Voss moment eternally.
Mm-hmm.
That franchise has now become a franchise that desperately, year after year, tries to find a new Voss. And I think we'll probably get a bit more of that with a whole bunch of new gameplay to show off the weird kind of customization and crafting that you can do. What did I think of the showcase? I thought it was absolutely fine. Like, Far Cry is one of those games where it's like, it hasn't done anything new in a while in a major way, but that's still kind of okay. The core gameplay loop is fun. So I'm excited for I'll backtrack that. I'm not excited. I'm at a place now where if someone said, hey, here is a Far Cry game, I would be like, I will play this Far Cry game for a little bit. And yeah, so, in that respect, I'm interested in seeing what more they show. Based on the preview that we had, it doesn't look like it's doing anything massively different, which is like, okay then, okay.
So obviously it was supposed to come out in the first half of this year. It ended up being delayed. And now it's kind of sitting pretty in that typical Assassin's Creed slot. Jordan, do you think we're going to get any rumblings of a new Assassin's Creed? I know they're not necessarily going annually anymore, but do you think we'll even get a hint?
If we get anything Assassin's Creed, it'll be a new trailer and release date for the Siege of Paris expansion for Valhalla. That's their big next thing, and it's tentatively scheduled for summer 2021. I have no idea if they're still gonna hit that, but I assume we'll hear about that and probably nothing else for Assassin's Creed. I would love it if they teased at least something about what they're thinking about next for their next trilogy of Assassin's Creed games, but I don't expect it. I'm not getting my hopes up for it.
I feel really guilty because I was really, really enjoying Valhalla, and then the game just never ended. So I sadly
it's
had
a long game.
put it down.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I started it, and then I saw like someone, I think it was you, Jordan, you were like, oh yeah, I'm 70 hours in, and I think I'm near the end. I was like, I'm done. I'm good.
You thought?
I'm not committing. I'm not committing.
It is a
70
long
hours.
ass game.
Brevity, games industry, please, brevity.
So we've got Far Cry. We might have information on the Assassin's Creed stuff. Rainbow Six Quarantine was announced, a couple of years ago at this point, and then obviously couldn't necessarily come out last year given the events. But hopefully we'll see more of it during Ubisoft Forward. Michael, you excited for Rainbow Six Quarantine?
I'm straight. I'm boo off that. I don't know. I'm not really like a zombie survival kind of shooter guy. I love Rainbow Six Siege. That's just fire. But I don't know. Like maybe more Siege content. See what's next for Rainbow Six Siege. That'd be tight. That's cool. But I don't know. I feel like there's more immediately exciting things that, I mean, not to say that like Rainbow Six Quarantine won't be fire, but like I feel like there's like bigger hitters that we can kind of tease out of Ubisoft. Please bring back Splinter Cell in some capacity, or like I think someone said on Twitter that we should just like have a burial, like a ceremony for Sam Fisher, R.I.P. My guy. It's
I think that is the best idea I've heard in a long time. Like if the entire gaming community, like across Twitch and everywhere, were like, this is National R.I.P. Sam Fisher Day, Ubisoft will have to say something. Like they will have to be like, no, he's not dead. He's not dead.
He's in Rainbow Six Siege.
He lives on in this mobile game.
We should just act like Ubisoft has killed Sam Fisher and like hold him accountable for it by holding like a memorial for him, and then
so you want to hold Ubisoft hostage.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only way we're getting Sam Fisher at this point. We're getting a new Splinter Cell because damn.
Oh my god! You know what they should? They should do like a Splinter Cell remaster, like Final Fantasy VII remake, or like Splinter Cell remake. Like all of at least the original 3 games, just remake them in like the most modern engine.
Because when was original Splinter Cell?
2002.
When was original?
Yeah.
Yeah, that came out on Xbox first.
You can't.
That's my first Xbox game.
No, I was gonna say
Wildlands.
Because it's the 20th anniversary of Xbox, and Splinter Cell obviously was like Xbox a game at the beginning. I do wonder if it's like, hey, and for Xbox's 20th anniversary, we'll do a Splinter Cell thing. But that's just wishful thinking at this point. I don't know. I mean, I hope that they must see the outcry about Splinter Cell. Like we know EA did, and that's why we're getting Skate 4. So you've got to hope someone there at Ubisoft is like, maybe we should do this. It seems like there's an audience for it. But also,
we need to do is every time someone at Ubisoft says,
"Oh no,
we hear you, Sam is alive," you just need to reply with, "Stop lying to us. Stop lying to us." Like stop, because they keep doing it. They're like, "We understand," in a French accent. They say, "We understand that there is a love for Sam Fisher and there is a demand for it, and we are thinking of wait." No, you're not. Stop lying to us.
They know that they can't turn Splinter Cell into a giant, big, open world game the same way that they can do with Far Cry and Ghost Recon.
But do you want that?
You want an 80-hour Splinter Cell game in the same scope of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is like one of Ubisoft's best-selling games, like because that's what Ubisoft sees.
Metal Gear Solid 5 was a solid like 30-40 hours, and it was amazing. So
I'm telling you, Ubisoft doesn't want that. They want the 60 to 90-hour experience.
Damn.
I feel like a school teacher who has lost control of the class, so I'm going to take it back. Because we've got like about a half hour left, and we still have to talk about Microsoft, Nintendo, Square, and like all the stuff that we're doing. So I'm just going to move us along quickly. But in terms of Ubisoft Forward, there are still a bunch of question marks on certain games, such as Beyond Good and Evil 2, Skull and Bones, which
No.
God, who knows what is even happening with Skull and Bones. One thing I think we definitely can expect, though, from Ubisoft Forward is a Just Dance. So that's honestly, I just love how much the Just Dance team loves Just Dance, because those bits are always so colorful and so fun. And, I will pay all of you $5 if it's not there.
Do you think we'll
Get
see a
yourself someone
non-Ubisoft
in your
original?
life that looks at you the way that Ubisoft looks at Just Dance. Just
Oh my God.
absolute adoration.
Do you think we'll see
And
a
rabbits,
non-Ubisoft
maybe.
original at the showcase?
Oh,
Like, it's like, here's something
You know-
here's something made by a developer that Ubisoft is publishing, but like we're not making it.
Naruto, the next
I don't
Naruto
know.
open world game.
I
it,
just
Michael.
remembered Prince of Persia.
Ooh.
That shit's
I think
gone.
Prince
We'll
of
see
Persia-
what's happening
I
with
think it
Prince
goes the
of
way of
Persia. 'cause
Skull
I-
and Bones and Beyond Good and
They
Evil.
they
Ubisoft
yeah,
just kind
they
of forgets about it.
They showed that game, and the entire gaming community went, "What is this?" And they went, "You never saw that. We're just gonna we'll bring that
I
back
feel
later."
bad because isn't that Ubisoft India's first game as a
Yeah,
lead studio? So I really hope they get it right, because they've been given something that so many people love, and it's one of those games that is very much just held with such reverence. And so I hope we get to see more of Prince of Persia now that we've had more time to work on it. But like I said, I'm going to skip us forward. There's a Gearbox event. I assume it's going to be movie stuff. There have been rumors on Twitter that there's going to be some kind of Borderlands spin-off, but I also think they're going to take this opportunity to maybe show Jamie Lee Curtis how to use a camera and actually show the characters instead of just their shadows, because it would be good
Wow.
to see what the actors look like in the movie. Love you, Jamie Lee
Calling
Curtis,
out
but this
Curtis.
teasing. Actually, I shouldn't do that. Jamie Lee Curtis does, I think she's great, but I'm also slightly intimidated by her.
Who isn't?
But is there anything?
Who isn't?
Is there anything else you think is going to be at this Gearbox showcase?
Magic tricks. There's going to be Randy on stage under a spotlight, sweating and doing magic tricks. I hope that is my
You
my
hope?
hope for it. Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I
Do you
love
really hope for
Randy.
that?
Oh yeah. Who doesn't love to see Randy Pitchford doing magic tricks? I love that shit, man. Because I'm just gonna stop.
You
Well,
suck it.
I'm gonna again move us forward. Also, we've got the Devolver Digital event, but let's move us forward to June 13th, 10 a.m. PT. It's the big one. It is Xbox and Bethesda joining forces, doing a joint games showcase. Like I said earlier, it's 20th anniversary of Xbox, so I think everyone is hoping and praying that they're going to do something big, not only for the anniversary of the console and as Xbox as a brand, but also, you've got Halo Infinite. So quickly go around the room. Michael, what are your kind of big, not takeaways because it hasn't happened yet, but what are your big expectations for this showcase?
Broadly speaking, I think this is, I think every time we see Xbox at a big event, it's always like, yo, we're anticipating big things from y'all. And they've shown promise at every show. It's like, yo, we got studio acquisitions. This studio is working on this, but we have nothing to show yet. Just be patient, but know that they're working on something big. And I'm looking at the list that we have here, and there's just so much stuff that they have teased or at least introduced or promised that this could be their moment to at least show off some of those promising things, such as I'm looking at Avowed. That's something that was teased out of Obsidian. That Obsidian, that could be a big hitter right there. They teased Fable. Maybe we see a little bit more of that. Not gonna be too wild on that. Hellblade 2 was what they premiered the Xbox Series X with. So maybe now's the time to kind of show off a little bit of, about what Hellblade 2 is all about. And of course, everyone's thinking about Halo Infinite. We were supposed to have that game last year, but of course that didn't happen. But this is an opportunity to kind of be like, yo, we're serious about Halo Infinite, and this is more of what it is, because there's still a lot of questions as to what exactly is going on with Halo Infinite in terms of multiplayer and how they've tweaked the game since the last time we saw it. Perfect Dark is also on people's minds, but I do think that's a little bit more ways off since we were just teased for that. But there's just so much exciting stuff out there. And that's not even touching on what Bethesda's working on. I think everyone's thinking about Starfield. Deathloop is around the corner. Yeah, we are all hyped for that. But I think Starfield is probably and Ghostwire are probably the two things that we might see prominently at the showcase. I hope so, but whatever they're showing off, it's probably going to be, I would say it's going to be a big deal.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm cautiously optimistic that we'll see Ghostwire, but I also feel like they've gone very, very quiet since we last saw it, and I do wonder if it's going to hit this year. But I think if they are going to announce that it is going to slip into 2022, we'll hopefully get a more meatier look at it. Perhaps Shinji Mikami will be on stage or something to discuss it. Jordan, what are your hopes and dreams for Xbox/Bethesda?
I'm really hoping that we get some actual release dates or some at least deeper dives into the games that Xbox/Bethesda are thinking about releasing, like while we're waiting for those giant games to hit, while we're waiting for Halo Infinite, while we're waiting for Fable, while we're waiting for Avowed. So things like 12 minutes, it finally deserves a release date. What's that new universe that the We Happy Few Compulsion Games folks are working on? Stalker 2, like what's going on with that? Like I want to know what's going on with those games that are coming from first-party studios that or are like exclusive to the Xbox console platform, like 12 minutes, that don't quite carry the same weight as something like Halo Infinite or Fable, but will help like carry the Xbox brand and carry Xbox Game Pass while we wait for those games to come out.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good mix. I think now is the time, given that it's been 2-3 years since they announced all those acquisitions, and obviously they massively increased their roster of first-party studios. I think now is going to be the time that we start to see something from Compulsion. We start to see, what Double Fine are working on beyond Psychonauts, and kind of the future of those studios is going to start to trickle out. And I think as well, it's just sort of, this is Xbox's time where it's like, hey, we're 20. This is everything we've done. So I think there's definitely going to be a lot of legacy stuff. I think we're going to see, obviously you see the future of Halo, but we'll see stuff hopefully from things like Gears. Gears 5 obviously ended on a cliffhanger that I'm still thinking about. So maybe we'll see the future of Gears. But I think also this is the time where Xbox are firmly going to be like, and this is all the cool stuff we're working on. Tam, I'm going to throw to you. What do you think is going to be at Xbox?
I think there's going to be a very, I think you folks are right about everything you said. I think it's going to be a very Halo Infinite focused presentation. I think that's the big game that they will be kind of booking. I think they're going to bookend the presentation with Halo, a whole chunk of it to show, almost undo the last presentation where it was like, why does this grunt and why does this elite look like this and what's going on here? So like they're gonna be like, they want everyone to walk away from that press conference going, holy shit, Halo is gonna be amazing. I need to mine Bitcoin and figure out a way to get an Xbox Series X or whatever it may be. And then I think that's going to be a major deal for them. And then Starfield is going to be the other thing where it's like, hey, this is what the Bethesda acquisition is going to give us. This is going to be on Game Pass. This is, I don't know, Mass Effect. This is, their Mass Effect, basically, or something like that. That's what I'm imagining it to be. So I think those two are going to be the big deal. And then, bam, Elden Ring, right at the end.
There it is.
Everyone's going to be like, holy shit. Miyazaki comes out on stage and just goes, hello, and then leaves. And then they play the Elden Ring trailer. We obviously had an interview with Big Phil a little while ago, and he said he'd been playing it. So I imagine my man was over there playing the game, seeing it to kind of figure out where they can introduce it. And my money is on, if Elden Ring is showing up at E3, I've got a strong suspicion it'd be at Microsoft's press conference. And it will, I'm just going to go all out and say there will be a release date.
Wow.
Okay.
So you think Elden Ring just kind of moves into that slot that Cyberpunk has held in the Xbox conference?
Elden Ring is the new Cyberpunk. Yeah.
Let's not say that. Well, let's not hope for that.
Who's the Keanu Reeves equivalent?
It's
Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel.
It's Vin Diesel. It's Vin Diesel. Yeah.
All right, and also, go on.
That would be. I think that's it. I think those will be, and then I think in between they'll have stuff like, we've got 15 seconds of Fable. It's like the stingers. They still need to show off Fable. They still need to show off Forza. They still need to show off, like you said, Perfect Dark. I think they could show the Crimson Omen for Gears and just be like, it still exists. And then obviously they end with the big one, Geometry Wars. I don't know. Just made that shit up.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Xbox and Bethesda is going to be a big one. I think that's the press conference I'm looking forward to the most. I think I just want them to have a really good year at E3. They've kind of, because I mean, they had a few years where it was kind of a lull, but it seems like they're really picking up momentum. So I'm just sort of desperate to see what Fable looks like at this point, because I'm British. And that's where I hold my affinity. But moving on, Square Enix has announced a showcase to 12/15 on the 13th. So they've actually kind of come out and said what everything is pretty much going to be. So we've got Avengers update, Babylon's Fall, Life is Strange True Colors, and Eidos Montreal's brand new game. So we'll talk a little bit about that in a second, but do you guys have high hopes for this presentation? Like, it feels like they've laid out quite clearly what they're going to be showing. Is that a good idea to kind of temper expectations like that, Michael?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of glad that they said that this is what they're going to show off, because if otherwise I'd be on the edge of my seat looking for what's next from Final Fantasy 16. And also I just want to see the Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker trailer again. So if they're not going to show that, just tell me straight up. This is one area where I don't want to be surprised with disappointment. So Naoki Yoshida, hit me up. We've been talking a lot, bro. So my email, my Twitter handle. Let me know what's good with Final Fantasy 16. But I mean, there is one thing, like, what's Eidos Montreal working on? Like, that's the surprise thing that I'm eager for. And also Babylon's Fall, bro. Yo. So that's the new Platinum Games joint that we haven't seen like 2 or 3 years at this point. I think I said this on GameSpot After Dark, our wonderful weekly podcast here at GameSpot, which y'all should be listening to. I think I've heard some rumblings about what Babylon's Fall is, and that's that on that.
I'm intrigued. You tell me that.
Tease.
A little tease. Jordan, what are you excited for from this presentation?
I just want some sort of actual plan for Avengers. I want them to come out on stage and be like, hey, this game did not release probably the way that we wanted it to, and we've had a little bit of trouble getting out the content that we promised. Here is like all of our goals that we're going to hit content-wise for Avengers over the next year. Because Spider-Man still isn't even in the game, and like, he's not even on the roadmap anymore. And I'm like, what is happening to Avengers? I'm not even playing it anymore. Like, because I'm like, I don't even know what's happening with this game. I just want some sort of plan so I know when I can jump back into Avengers and start grinding the characters that I want to grind to play the content that I want to play. That's all. I want some sort of idea of what's happening with that game.
And Tam, what about you? What are you excited for?
I mean, every event that Square Enix holds that doesn't involve the Legacy of Kain is an event that is a absolute failure to me. So,
The Legacy of Hussein.
For as long as
What if that's what Eidos is doing? What if that's
if they're
what
doing
Eidos
Legacy
is
of Kain, I will take it all. I will take it all back, and I will I will send a letter to the head of Square Enix apologizing for my words. But until that happens, get a grip, Square Enix. Beyond that, stop holding one of the greatest franchises of all time hostage.
Deus
A lot of
Ex.
hostage talk this morning.
you're talking
yeah, Deus Ex.
Kill
Obviously,
a
lot of
Final
rumors about
Fantasy for a.
Hey,
Sorry,
whoa, chill,
wow,
my guy.
man.
Whoa. Hey. Whoa.
Let's not
Hey man,
say
I said a
things
Final
over-
Fantasy. A Final Fantasy. There's like wacky Final Fantasies on mobile happening right now, so we can
That's
lose
facts,
one of them. But like honestly, like I
battle
really
royale.
want to see Babylon. Yeah, I want to see Babylon's Fall the most, and the Eidos Montreal thing. Babylon's Fall, obviously, because I love Platinum games, so I'm desperate to see that. And like Michael, I have heard some interesting things about that game. So I hope that they show it off, because then everyone
All these
on the internet can
teases.
be
Did
like,
I miss a memo or something? That
Yeah, I was
GameSpot
going to say, did
staff
I
got?
miss a Slack? I'm
you
going
have
to
to
move
be,
us on because
you
we've
have
got...
to be part of the Japan game obsessed crew that we have.
I see. I'm not weeb enough then.
Wow.
Says the fool with waifus in the background.
Shut up. Don't call me out.
That day as well, we've also got to look at Back 4 Blood from Warner Brothers. Very, very quickly on this one before we move on to Nintendo. But do we think there's going to be a chance that we get to see more Suicide Squad and Gotham Knights if DC fandom is happening this year? Do you think they're still going to take advantage of the... Oh, and Hogwarts Legacy is...
No,
there
I totally
too.
forgot all those games existed. Oh my god.
they're owned by the Discovery Channel now. So what we're gonna see is like whales just like floating through water and like documentaries on flowers and shit. No.
Oh my god, I thought you meant like the country Wales. And I was
No.
really confused.
Giant open world.
No, I reckon they're saving
It's
all
a lot
that
of
for,
Welshmen.
I reckon they're saving that for their fandom, the DC fandom.
Yeah.
Where all the kind of like good stuff is going to be. Like, why would, if you've got Batman, why would you share the spotlight with all these other games when you can take it to the place where the Batman nerds are going to be and will lose their shit? So, and same for the Suicide Squad. So it makes perfect sense for them to stick to DC fandom for that.
That's fair. All right, let's move on. June 15th, 9 a.m. PT, we have a Nintendo Direct. Per a tweet from Nintendo, tune in for Nintendo Direct with roughly 40 minutes of info focused exclusively on Nintendo Switch software, mostly releasing in 2021, followed by around 3 hours of gameplay on Treehouse. So, it's Zelda's 35th anniversary. Is it the time? Are we going to see more Breath of the Wild 2 beyond a trailer? A nod from Tam,
Yes.
unsure face from Michael.
Yeah,
What do we think?
I would
'Cause
bet
obviously
on it.
we've got Skyward Sword. Yeah.
Yeah, because like
Yeah, because
I
people
mean,
are thrilled about that.
whoa, damn.
Spicy take on Skyward Sword.
I don't know. I feel like we've got the teaser for Breath of the Wild 2 or the Breath of the Wild sequel. So I mean, why not show a little bit more now? Even if so, the thing is, like, Nintendo is very direct, if you will, about what before their presentation. Like, okay, this is what we're focusing on. It's going to be this, and that. Releases, software only, no Switch Pro. So shut y'all asses up. And then what's coming out in 2021. So I feel like maybe we'd only see Breath of the Wild 2 if it's going to be a 2021 release. I would doubt that. But I don't know, maybe a teaser. But there's like there are a lot of other things that I think folks are anticipating that we've been anticipating for a while. So I don't know. Maybe that's like how their big bang that they end at the end of the presentation before they go into their kind of gameplay showcase.
Very briefly, because you mentioned it there, Switch Pro, obviously this showcase is going to be software only. The rumor mill has been working overtime. Do we think Switch Pro is going to get announced before E3? Tam?
Yes, they've done this before, where they've been like, "Oh, this is gonna be this specific game that we're going to talk about," and then at the end of it, they just slide in like 2 other games, and you're like, "You said this was not going to be about." So I reckon they will absolutely show it off. If not during, it will be likely during the direct if it's going to be anywhere. But if not, the kind of like Treehouse stuff that they have in the coming time afterwards, I imagine will be somewhere there. Beyond that, I think it's about time we saw like a couple of seconds of Metroid Prime, please, because you can't keep like just, and also Bayonetta. What's the deal? Where is Bayonetta? I think
been
that
4
we're
years
due
since
to see
we've
some
heard it.
Bayonetta. Yeah, exactly. And I reckon, I hope that we do see some of that. We see more of that. But yeah, I reckon we will see some Breath of the Wild 2 as well. People are going to be very angry if they don't show up.
I was going to say, I know that at the last Nintendo Direct they had a couple months ago, they did kind of mention, development's still ongoing. please, don't yell at us on twitter.com. But I think E3 is probably the place to show it if they are going to. But what do we think that means? Because it is, there are so many Nintendo anniversaries this year. What do we think that means for kind of other Zelda games? Do we think there's going to be any more remasters, or perhaps a collection akin to the weird limited time Mario thing they did for his 35th? Jordan, what do you reckon?
Bring Twilight Princess to Switch, please. I ask for so little. I don't want Skyward Sword. Only Evan Langer wants Skyward Sword. No one wants Skyward Sword.
Jordan.
I want Twilight Princess.
What?
We have not brought Midna back in any Legend of Zelda game, so the least you could do is just allow me to relive the story of Twilight Princess again. I want so little, Nintendo. If you're not going to give me Metroid, and I assume you're going to just deny me for another year because you love to tease me with that shit, then just give me Twilight Princess.
I only want this for you now. I don't even want it. I just want this to happen for you, because with Hollow Knight and now this.
I'm being denied.
That's the thing. I mean, Nintendo are always kind of strange with how they deal with bringing old games to new platforms. They typically like to lock stuff. Do we genuinely think this is possible that they will put something like Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask on the Switch, or if they're going to be expanding their backwards compatibility in any way? I'll leave this open to the floor. So jump in.
No. They're not going to do that because it's what everyone wants.
I hate it so much.
Maybe now's the time. I don't know. Maybe now's the time. I don't know.
Tam is right.
I mean,
they don't like us.
Listen, I love Nintendo with all my heart. Like, it is a key part of my gaming identity. I have come to terms with the fact that anything that I want, they will not give me. They will give me the opposite of that. So if you want Ocarina of Time on Switch, you know what you're going to get? You're going to get Ocarina of Time wallpapers on Nintendo.com. That's what you're getting.
Wow.
I can't
before we move on, though,
into it.
Shouts out to Pokemon. I think we want to see more from the 2 Pokemon games that they got lined up. It is also still the 25th anniversary. Those I would expect at least a little bit of that. I mean, shit, it's Pokemon, so.
Can you imagine Nintendo just doesn't bring any of this? No Zelda, no Metroid, no Donkey Kong, no Pokemon. They're just like...
What I do really hope
games.
I do really hope they actually do is like they create one of the 99 style games that they've been doing for all their franchises, but do it for Zelda. Like, figure out a way of doing something cool like Zelda 99, and make a multiplayer version of that. Like, they've got 4 swords and they've got ideas that they could like kind of adapt to make it happen. So I hope they do that. Just don't make it a limited time thing where you need to play it between certain hours and it's only available for like half a month or something mad nonsense like that. But fingers crossed for something like that.
All right, I'm going to move us on very quickly.
Elden Ring coming to Switch Pro.
Right, okay, well, you've just effectively meant that we're not going to talk about Elden Ring because Bandai Namco's having a showcase too just after Nintendo. So I don't even know, man. Just show Elden Ring. It's been too long. But more excitingly, GameSpot has a showcase. I think right now it's sitting at 3:35 on June 15th. Tam, do you want to talk a little bit more about it? Because you've been involved in the planning.
Yeah, so it's the Play for All showcase, and it is sadly doesn't have any Elden Ring in it. I tried. I failed. It's instead focused on
Miyazaki?
games. Yeah, I did it in all caps, and I was like, "Here are my nudes. Please exchange for one Elden Ring trailer," and he did not reply. So the actual showcase is focused on a lot of indie games, and the way we kind of approached it is we wanted to find games and developers that represent the future of the industry. And what that means is we've got hand selected, and I genuinely mean hand selected. Like, I went through a spreadsheet of so many games and watched the trailers, did research into them, and picked a bunch of games that I thought, and Randy helped as well on this, and a couple of folks on the mix that I thought were really cool. And they are games that either are made by diverse teams, touch on themes that are important, or they kind of have representation of characters or ideas or narratives that are a little more diverse and from around the world. Inclusivity is a big part of the game's the kind of theme of the showcase, and we really nailed down games that would speak to that. So it's about 20 games. It's going to last about an hour long, and in between the kind of awesome game trailers that we're going to be showing, we'll have interviews with select developers that are going to be there. There's a whole bunch of really, really cool games, the stuff that I know that I love and it's loved seeing, and I know that I picked it based on, oh, I know there's going to be a bunch of people that are really going to be excited to see something like this, and it's going to put a new game on their radar. So yeah, that's going to be about an hour long, and it's full of a lot of cool stuff. So please be excited.
Is Hollow Knight on
So
that
that
list?
again,
Is Hollow Knight Silksong on there? You'll have to wait. You'll have to wait, Jordan.
What?
you have to watch and find out on June 15th. So not only are we doing pre and post shows on all of the biggest press conferences, we also are running 2 days worth of live streams as part of Play for All and E3. So that's June 16th and 17th. So you're gonna want to make sure to come back to GameSpot.com, YouTube.com/GameSpot, Twitch.tv/GameSpot, etc., because we're going to be running interviews with a bunch of devs as well as exclusive trailers and looks at gameplay. We've also got some fun little kind of E3 reaction sessions with folks like Greg Miller, Naomi Kyle, Steve Spahn, and Jake Baldino, and Paris Lilly, and so many more. So we're kind of joined by friends of GameSpot to discuss E3 in greater detail. And then the week after, so June 21st to 25th, that's when we're doing our Play for All charity live streams. So you might remember last year we went for 6 weeks. I think we did like one stream a day for 6 weeks. This time we're doing a week's worth of streams. We're doing 2 slots every day, except for Friday, when we're going to be doing a longer stream with our friends over at Giant Bomb. So make sure to tune in and find out. We've got some great guests, obviously Kind of Funny are going to be part of it. Steve Spahn and folks from Rooster Teeth and Funhouse. And we're working to raise money for Able Gamers this year. So we thought long and hard about the charity that we were going to be choosing to raise money for. And it's also our 25th anniversary this year. And we wanted to do something to kind of give back to the gaming community a little bit. And, you know, the work that Able Gamers does is so crucial in this time. And I think definitely highlighted even more by the impact of the last year is, you know, through talking with Steve, he's been telling us about like people with disabilities are very isolated, and in events like COVID and quarantine, that isolation has just been compounded, and video games are, we all know, a fantastic way of connecting to people. Like, I moved halfway across the world and I keep in touch with my friends by playing games, and by the crucial work that Able Gamers does, they open up gaming for so many more people. So we really hope that you will be tuning in and donating. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to be hopefully raising a lot of money for their excellent cause. We'll drop the link in the description of this video, but as well, we'll be tweeting it out the whole time. It'll be a Tiltify link, easy to donate. So that's what you can expect from E3 and Play for All this June. I'm going to do a quick once over around the room if my lovely co-hosts want to give a shout out to where folks can find them over E3. Michael, you're actually going to be in LA. Ooh. And what your kind of biggest hope for the show is. So Michael, I'll start with you.
All right. Yeah, you can find me and all of my stuff at Michael P. Haim on Twitter. I'll be tweeting out all about E3. And then, yeah, I'm actually part of the official coverage for E3. So I'm going to be, your boy's going to be voting on like the best of show for E3. I'm going to be on live streams with Greg and Jackie Jing and Golden Boy out there. So it's really exciting. I'll be down in LA to feel like I'm part of an event again, like a live production. It's going to be wild. It's going to be a ton of fun. So not only is GameSpot and all my friends and coworkers going to be doing their own thing, I'm going to be out there representing GameSpot as well through the official E3 channel. So definitely peep both coverage from the event and GameSpot. And yeah, and my biggest hope is, I don't know, I want to see the Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker trailer again. That's it.
It's on YouTube. What's wrong with you?
I want to see it again.
Jordan, what about you?
I would say my E3 plans are not as exciting as Michael's, but as per usual, you will probably see my name on a lot of bylines and a lot of places, on a lot of news articles as the streams start picking up, and Tam and Chris are like, Jordan, can you write this? Can you write this? Can you write this? So yeah, you'll just see me covering a lot of stuff, and my face might appear in a few things. We'll see. It's not completely set in stone. What am I really all my hopes and dreams for this E3 have been dashed into the ground already. But
God damn.
Look, if there's not going to be Hollow Knight Silksong, then what's even the point? You know what? I will give my hopes and dreams to Tam. He's been waiting for Elden Ring. I hope that he gets Elden Ring.
Let's go.
Tam, I'm going to quickly pass it over to you.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot of the hosting stuff alongside Lucy, and then working in the background to arrange stuff, probably do some writing here and there as well. And my biggest hope for the E3 is a surprise release date for Hollow Knight Silksong for Jordan. We look after each other. How do you like that?
Aww.
Psych! It's Elden Ring! All I care about is Elden Ring. I do not give a shit about anything else.
All right,
and just
I'm
like
on
that,
Twitter
dashed into the ground again.
I'm moving us on. I'm on Twitter, Eastern Games. I'm going to be hosting a lot of the pre and post show stuff. So I'm going to be around all over E3. And my biggest hope and dream is that everyone has a nice time. But also, I would love to see Elden Ring. Thank you so much for watching us on this kind of pre E3 showcase, I suppose. Little kind of teasers what is to come over the next month. You can catch all the latest news, GameSpot.com, YouTube.com/GameSpot, on our socials and on our Twitch. And we'll catch you across the whole month of June.
Peace.
Bye.